People compare their lives constantly. Their income, their appearance, their lifestyle, their success. And modern culture has made comparison almost impossible to escape. Because today, people no longer compare themselves only to neighbors or co-workers. They compare themselves to millions of carefully curated lives online. Luxury vacations, perfect homes, expensive lifestyles. And over time, constant exposure to other people's highlight reels quietly creates dissatisfaction. Because comparison changes how people see themselves. And eventually, many people stop appreciating their own lives. Because they become emotionally trapped inside everyone else's. Minimalist wealth. Minimalize your way to financial freedom. Human beings naturally compare themselves to others. It's part of how people measure progress, status, and belonging. For most of history, those comparisons happened within relatively small communities. People compared themselves to neighbors, friends, co-workers, family. But modern technology changed the scale completely. Today, people are exposed to the lifestyles of millions of strangers every single day. And social media rarely shows ordinary life. It shows the highlights, the successes, the luxury, the exciting moments. Which creates the illusion that everyone else is constantly living better. And over time, many people begin feeling behind, even when their lives are objectively stable. One of the most powerful effects of social media is how it quietly changes expectations. Over time, extreme lifestyles begin feeling normal. Luxury apartments, expensive vacations, designer fashion, constant travel. And because people see these things repeatedly, the mind slowly recalibrates what success is supposed to look like, which creates pressure. Pressure to upgrade. Pressure to achieve more. Pressure to appear successful. And eventually, many people stop asking, "What do I actually want?" And instead begin asking, "What should my life look like?" That shift creates endless dissatisfaction. Because comparison has no finish line. There is always someone richer, more attractive, more successful. And chasing those standards can quietly become emotionally exhausting.
Comparison is not only emotional, it often becomes financial. Because many people spend money trying to keep up with lifestyles they constantly consume online. A newer car, a more expensive apartment, luxury experiences, status purchases. And over time, social comparison quietly fuels lifestyle inflation. People begin spending money, not because something improves their life, but because it protects them from feeling left behind. The problem is that financial pressure grows quickly when spending becomes emotionally motivated. Because external validation is extremely expensive to maintain. And eventually, many people become trapped in lifestyles designed more for appearance than peace. Comparison feels powerful because it promises emotional progress. The mind believes, if I can just reach that level, then I'll finally feel successful. But the feeling rarely lasts. Because external comparison has no stable endpoint. Every new achievement quickly becomes normal. Then the mind searches for the next benchmark, the next upgrade, the next lifestyle. And eventually, people realize they are chasing a moving target that constantly shifts. That's why comparison often creates chronic dissatisfaction. Because someone else will always appear to be doing better. And if self-worth becomes dependent on comparison, peace becomes extremely difficult to maintain.
One of the healthiest financial and psychological decisions someone can make is learning to step outside the comparison cycle. To stop measuring life primarily through status, or appearance, or external validation. Because once people become less emotionally dependent on comparison, they often realize how much pressure disappears. Suddenly, simpler living feels acceptable. Slower living feels peaceful. And financial decisions become more intentional instead of performative. That's why many people eventually discover that real freedom comes less from impressing others, and more from becoming emotionally comfortable with needing less validation from the world around them. Comparison is one of the most powerful emotional forces in modern life. We scroll through endless feeds, measuring our moments against luxury apartments, fast cars, and the curated lives of influencers. Slowly, the weight grows. The sense of isolation deepens. Emotional stress becomes a shadow beneath city lights. Yet, quietly, in the minimalist silence, something else unfolds. A freedom untouched by flashes of wealth, a calm, steady space where peace grows. Because financial freedom and emotional freedom often begin when people stop trying to constantly keep up. If you enjoyed this reflection, subscribe to Minimalist Wealth for more content on wealth psychology, simple living, and long-term financial freedom. And remember, minimalize your way to financial freedom.